What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another spring practice report. It is Thursday, March 24th. We are nearing the end of March, which means we are getting closer and closer to spring practices. Baby, we actually have a spring game tomorrow. I think it's San Jose State. Anyways, not a lot of news today. A lot of teams are just getting back to practice today or tomorrow. So a lot of the notes and reports have not been updated. Most of those don't come out till later in the afternoon. So I've only got a couple schools for you guys today. It'll be a nice, quick one. We'll try and dive deeper in here for sure on Friday. So let's take a ride around the country and get you guys some updates on some spring reports. All right, so we're going to start at Arizona State. I haven't gone back there really since the first day that they opened up, and it seems like Trenton Borguo, I really don't know how to say his name, is taking most of the first team reps as of right now. Daniel Nagata seems to be leading the backfield for now as the running back one, and then the top wide receivers have been Brian Thompson, Ricky Pearsall, Elijah Badger, and Jalen Conyers, who I believe has been in at tight end. Some people had asked, so I did as much digging as I could about LV Bunkley Shelton, a guy that Austin really liked last year and a wide receiver that most of us over at Campus to Canton like. So he did participate today in warm-ups and stuff with the first team on periods, but he is being actually extremely limited, and it looks like it's due to some sort of injury, but they have not led on to anything. They have not said anything. So this is just guessing, but he was out there. He did do warm-ups. He was out there with the team warm-ups as well, according to the reports, and he was doing all that with the first team. So I imagine that LV Bunkley Shelton, who in my opinion is probably the best out of all of them, maybe he's right there with Badger, but I expect him to kind of probably be the one, but we don't have any idea of what exactly is holding him back or why he's not on the field. So something to watch. We'll continue to check back in with Arizona State. Going up to Boston College, again, another team I haven't checked in on in a while. Phil Dracovic and Zay Flowers are just absolutely dominating in spring practice from everything I'm reading. Jaleelan Gill has also been doing very well, along with CJ Burton. A couple guys that I'm going to be honest with you, I have not really heard or seen much talked about. Dante Reynolds, who has scored multiple touchdowns during spring practices. Now, he is running with the second team offense, but he has looked good. So has Tajay Johnson. So a couple guys there with Boston College that you may want to look at. There's not getting a ton of pub, but going back through the past couple practice updates, both Dante Reynolds and Tajay Johnson have been talked about being very good here for Boston College. So guys to look at, maybe snag at the end of your C2C rosters. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Obviously, the big concern is going to be, what is this offense going to look like when Phil Dracovic leaves next season? Baylor. It is extremely hard to get any kind of information out of Baylor right now. The biggest thing I could get was Dave Aranda talking about Jerry Bohannon, who we know was a starter last year. I mean, Baylor had a very good season, a big upset of Oklahoma State. Just a really good season overall. Dave Aranda, one of the better coaches, in my opinion, all of college football. But Jerry Bohannon and Blake Sharpton are rotating reps at quarterback during spring. Dave Aranda did say that Jerry needs to continue to improve, and Blake needs to come in and outplay Jerry if he wants a job. He's not making this decision anytime soon, and honestly, he says he will not make the decision until the end of spring. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know that it matters that much. I was really trying to dig in to see if I could get any RB news. Obviously, with Abram Smith being out, there's just not a lot coming out from Baylor right now. So something that's a team I'm watching closely because I'm very intrigued what that offense is going to look like. And we may not get any more answers, unfortunately, until about the spring game, but we will continue to look. Again, short episode for you guys today because I've only got one other school to go to, but it's the big one. I was saving this. There's a lot of news that came out about this yesterday if you guys were tapped in. Washington State, Cameron Ward has been the talk right now of Twitter after entering the transfer portal from Incarnate Word, coming over here. And a lot of people have been giving some of us over at C2C a little bit of crap for having him so high in our rankings. Again, I understand it's just spring practice, but I'm going to read you 2 days worth of notes here that I was able to compile. And according to everything I'm reading here, On day one, Cameron Ward wasted little time, making it abundantly clear just how good he is. He took 90% of the reps on 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills. He completed 26 of 35 passes, which was 74%. And they said beyond that, everything he did was incredible. His ability to run, his movement in the pocket was smooth. His release was easy and fluid. He showed a lot of quick twitch ability. So on day one, Cameron Ward came through and played well. Then the reports for today's practice was that the defense looked really good, except against Cameron Ward, who was also extremely solid again for day two. Completed 18 of 29 passes, 62% on today, and he was the only quarterback in the group that ran. I'm not even going to read the other three guys because they don't. No offense, they just don't matter. Cameron Ward, we know, is going to be the starter. All the other quarterbacks that ran through drills today were intercepted at least once. Cameron Ward was intercepted 0 times. However, I do want to bring up the running backs really quick. Canton Kazor has looked good, as has Dylan Payne in the running back drills that they have been running. But Nakia Watson, transfer from Wisconsin, has been running with the first team both days for the most part. So I do think Watson's probably the running back to watch out for. The players that I really wanted to touch on are the wide receivers, because if Cameron Ward's going to be tossing the ball a lot, which we expect at Washington State, obviously he's got the rushing upside as well. It's not as great as, he's not a massive rushing quarterback, but he does bring you some rushing upside, but it's his arm, right? And so with that, you want to have the guy that you can pair with him. Who is it? And Chris Moxley talked about this on Debbie Debate the other day, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember the wide receiver he mentioned, but there's two wide receivers who are absolutely dominating the first 2 days at practice, and that is Lincoln Victor and Donovan Ollie. Right now, both those guys are running with the ones. Lincoln Victor running with the ones at the Y position, Donovan Ollie at the Z, and then you got Drake Owen running as well at the H, at the halfback position. Now, why does this matter? I'm sorry, and at the halfback, and then at X is Deshaun Stribling, who I believe is who Moxley said to go get. Why I'm telling you maybe you want to go get Lincoln Victor. Lincoln Victor in today's practice got 6 catches. All 6 of his targets he caught. Donovan Ollie, the same thing. 6 and 6. On day one, though, oh God, I just lost my note. On day one, Victor dominated with 12 catches. Nobody else had over 7, and that X person was Ali. Deshaun Stripling is not getting targeted for some reason by Cameron Ward, at least early on. Now, I'm not telling you to panic. Chris Moxley knows a lot more about CFF than I do. Maybe it's just taking Stripling a little bit of time to get involved here. But the two wide receivers who have really been standing out with Cameron Ward the past 2 days are Lincoln Victor and Donovan Ollie. So I do think that's something to watch. And in all honesty, you could probably get all 3 of them because none of those guys are really getting drafted. You can grab all 3 of them late and then just watch and see what happens as we get closer. But those are the 2 guys that I'd be watching out for, if I'm being honest, based on everything I've read about the spring practice the past 2 days. They have just been absolutely dominating, along with Cameron Ward, who I believe is in the top 10 quarterbacks for all of us who rank over at C2C. So gonna be very, very interesting to watch Washington State this year. That will do it for us today. I mean, again, like I said, really short spring practice report. We'll be back, though, tomorrow. Might go live a little bit later than usual tomorrow because there's a lot of stuff like LSU, Texas Tech. There's a lot of schools that I've been trying to get information on that didn't open their practices until today, Thursday, and a lot of them will not be giving updates until later tonight. So I'm going to try and really dig into a bunch of schools tomorrow. So we might have a little bit of a longer episode, but everybody enjoy Thursday. If you're a soccer fan, USA versus Mexico, baby. Let's go. We need these 3 points, at least one in Stadio Azteca. Let's go. USA, baby. I will talk to you guys.